SiteLock clean the malware code in DB?
So at this current time, the SiteLock services will only scan the files associated with their domain name. So it does not clean the files inside of a database. So the next question that Ming had was, what if I go over 500 pages? Ideally, on that page limit, anything over typically 100 pages or so was kind of redundant because the scan is going to start with the index file in the beginning anyways. If it gets to the 500 page limit, that's simply for the malware alert. That's not in regards to the actual smart scan that's actually ran for automatic malware removal. It'll still scan all the files associated with that specific FTP account. Up to, on the fixed plan, it'll scan up to 2 gigabytes of information. Does it remove the malware code only or the malware file totally? And the answer is it actually removes just the malware code only. It does not remove the file completely. Now, if the file was created by the hacker, it may be named hacker files. We'll just simply remove the malware code that's within it that's triggering that alert in the first place. Will it work on sites connecting through VPN? That is something I will actually need to verify with our technical architect because I'm not 100% sure on that answer. But I will make sure I get that information to you, and I'll funnel it through Jimmy so we can get you the answer to that as soon as I hear back from my technical architect regarding that question. So the question is there any connection with these plans? And those plans are actually completely proprietary to SiteLock versus the ones that are offered through our channel or through our different resellers and hosting providers out there. The plans that you see on our website aren't offered by anyone else. Now, it does include some features that are included with the packages that you guys offer, but they're a lot less comprehensive and easy to understand. And some of them do include higher level services like DDoS and a proprietary tool that we call Infinity Scanner. If you look on that specific link, you'll see a lot of different plans. Those packages also start off at about $100 US per month on those plans too, so they're quite a bit more expensive. The next question we have is, we have multiple servers using the domain on load balancing. Can we buy plans based on IP address instead of the domain name? So in this case where we have a website that's a very large website like this, this would be a perfect website for the enterprise packages we'll introduce at a later date. But ideally, you would want to make sure that you have like the prevent package that would be that would scan or prevent the issues via DNS settings and those changes on that. So to answer your second part of your question, if you're able to buy services based on the IP versus the domain name, the answer is at this point no. We currently have to use a domain name in order to purchase the service license.
So I have a question from Joe to WebNIC. The question goes like this: will SiteLock remove the malware code automatically, or can let user choose? Aaron, please correct me if I'm wrong. So if I remember correctly, that there's a setting that user can choose whether the user wants to automatically remove the malware code or set as just notify. So when the services detects a malware, user can actually select whether they want to automatically remove it or to notify the user themselves.
You're 100% correct, Jimmy. That's exactly how it works.
There's another question comes in. Does the service make backups?
Yes.
And customers have access
to
those backups?
So no and no. We don't provide any backups of the services or any access to any backups. Next question: can SiteLock detect how the site is infected via vulnerable script? So the only way that we'll be able to see what kind of actual infection it is would be if the customer had the prevent package with the web application firewall and content delivery network. When that's configured, it'll tell the type of attempt that's actually happening, but in that case, it'll usually be blocked. When a customer only has the fix package, it'll simply only alert the customer of the specific malware, and it will give them a snippet or a very small version of the code that's malicious, but it'll only remove it. Won't necessarily show them the exact vulnerable script. Now, on the vulnerability scans that happen with each one of those scanners for cross-site scripting and SQL injections, as well as applications, it'll tell if there's a vulnerable page URL or a vulnerable application within that website, but it'll only simply tell if there's a specific vulnerability. The scan does not tell exactly how a hacker was able to get inside of a site upon scanning to remove the malware issue. Next question we have, do you provide detailed package info describing the services for us to use on our website to promote the service? And what about FAQs? Help on how to use? And the answer, go ahead, Jerry.
Yeah, sure. So I believe these questions directed more towards to WebNIC. Yes, we have all those informations and also the documentations ready. We'll make sure to send to everyone here after this presentation. It will include the detailed package info and also what are the who you can target, how to use on the services, and also some configuration guide that we just showed just now. So if you also need any additional information that's not included in the document we will send later, please also let us know. Then we'll work out all those information with you.
Next question we have here is, can you monitor for file changes? And that's similar to the question that was asked a little earlier about the smart tool that Jimmy answered. The automatic malware removal tool does have the capability to identify if files have been modified in any way, and it actually even gives us a short comparison between what the file looked like before and what it looks like with the modifications. And it does the same thing when there's malware. It'll give a comparison between the two. The next question is, how does this function unless you make a full backups periodically and compare with the present? So we keep an internal backup of the website, but we do not provide a customer-facing backup for customers at all. So it'll compare based upon the previous scan for the file change that I'm monitoring. If it's the first scan, off of that initial scan that happened. Any possibility for removing some normal code? So no. So that's the nice thing about having a signature database and a research development department that goes through extensive reviews and making sure this doesn't happen, so that your customers' websites or your own website is not affected if malware needs to be removed from a specific file. Would it be correct to say the service covers application level only, CMS versus vulnerability scanning on server level? Absolutely. That's exactly what it does. This is only on the web application level on the server stack. The web server and server level vulnerabilities, network, and those are all a different type of security. This is strictly for the application level.
Okay, one more question comes in. Is it a real-time scan?
So the answer is the scan will run once. Each scan that's included on the package that you or your customer purchase, it'll run once a day. You can queue each scan on the fixed plan or prevent to run up to 3 times a day, but they're automatically queued to only scan once a day. Again, that's the fix and prevent. The fine plan doesn't have that capability. Will still only just run once a day, and 1 time for the vulnerability check for cross-site scripting and SQL injections in application.
So just to add on, the user can also manual trigger the scan themselves after they log into the client portal. But the automatic scan, as what mentioned by Aaron, is just once a day. Okay, one more questions from Ho. As a hosting provider, if we subscribe a SiteLock for customer, will there be a separate dashboard for customer to access? The answer is yes and no. Because we are using a single sign-on method, the customer will still access to the same customer portal as they are with WebNIC. After they log into the WebNIC customer portal, there will be a link to the SiteLock customer portal, which they will do the configuration there. But the client themselves, they only need to maintain one set of credential and log in to the WebNIC customer portal. They do not have to log in separately to the SiteLock customer portal.
Next question we have from Ming is for the SSH and FTP login, whether it's only used for cleaning but not for scanning. And it can be used for either one. So on that fixed plan or prevent, you can set up those settings to only alert of malware, or it can be used to remove or clean the malware. It can be done for either one. The next question that we have is, do you notify alerts via SMS or push notification? And at this time, we do not. So we only do it via email at this point. Obviously, if a customer has email on their phone, they would receive that. But at this point, it is simply via email for those alerts and notifications.
Okay, last questions. Can you explain about DDoS protection? So,
correct. So the DDoS protection is, again, on the application level using the web application firewall and content delivery network. The prevent plan will give you basic DDoS protection at the very base level. Keep in mind that the prevent plan is not made to be a DDoS tool or DDoS protection. At a later date, we will introduce the enterprise plans that will be true DDoS protection to help protect up to unlimited gigabits per second. A type of attack, or 1 gigabit per second, or 10 gigabit per second type of attack. But at this point, it's used just based as to block basic bot attacks on a website.
So Aaron, if I remember correctly, that this basic DDoS protection also able to defend attack up to 1 gigabit per second. Am I correct?
Not on the prevent level. So on the base level, enterprise level packages, it will start to protect up to 1 gigabit per second. But on the prevent package, it's we don't set a limit on that. Now, the nice thing about the SiteLock packages and with our web application firewall and the way those services work is if you are attacked with a DDoS, or when your customers are attacked when they're on the prevent plan, we will give you I believe it's a 7-day service level agreement to upgrade to a higher level plan once it's available. But again, that's we will introduce those at a later date. We don't have an exact date for launch for those just yet, but that's a little snippet of things that come with this partnership that we've established.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, everyone.